I didn't do anything. I don't hear it. Mic check, hello, 1, 2. All right, here we go.
You are listening to Mount St. Mary's basketball in the MAC Basketball Championships in Atlantic City. Mount St. Mary's basketball is brought to you by Educational Systems Federal Credit Union, Finn City Brewery, Kadori Memorials, Roy Rogers, Lamundon, Pepsi, Glory Days Grill, Lindquist Insurance, Frederick Seibert and Associates.
And from Jim Whalen Boardwalk Hall here in Atlantic City, it's time for Mount St. Mary's basketball. We wait all year for it, and here we are, the culmination, the MAC tournament. This season, Mount St. Mary's battling to get the number 6 seed, the same seed they were a year ago when the Dream Run took them to the NCAA tournament for a 7th time in program history, but a first time as champions of the MAC. And now, tonight, it begins anew here in this 25-26 campaign as Mount St. Mary's takes on Siena after a dramatic quarterfinal previous where Marist outlasted and overwhelmed Quinnipiac in a really a narrow affair. The winner of this game will take on Fairfield in the semifinal tomorrow night at 8:30. The big stories of this game for Mount St. Mary's AKKB, who came out early a week ago in the second last game against Sacred Heart, I should say, did not play against Fairfield. He is warming up and appears dressed and ready to play for the Mount tonight. And for Siena, seeing one of their top players, their 4th leading scorer, Antonio Chandler, ruled ineligible basically a week ago. Missed the last 2 games of the year and will not play in this MAC tournament either, averaging 7.3 points, 5.6 rebounds per game. Siena was a winner in their final game of the year, though, against Rider to wrap up the 3 seed in this MAC tournament. We take a quick break. We return with a conversation with Mount St. Mary's head coach, Donnie Lynn. It's all coming up right after this as you're listening to Mount St. Mary's basketball. Mount St. Mary's and Siena from the MAC tournament.
Challenge ourselves every day, academically, physically, and spiritually, to strive for excellence by pushing ourselves beyond our limits. At our mountain campus, we know what it takes to be great, to pursue our passion for learning, to build lifelong bonds, to stand up for our beliefs, to enjoy a life of purpose. At Mount St. Mary's University, we create lives of significance.
Hey, Mount fans, looking for insurance you can trust? Meet Daisy Gardner from Lindquist Insurance. With expertise in personal, commercial, and life insurance, Daisy is dedicated to protecting what matters most to you. Call Daisy Gardner today and experience the friendly professional service you deserve. The number 240-297-0628. Mount fans, protect your future with Daisy.
The time has come. The steak and cheese sandwich is back at Roy Rogers. Savory or spicy, make it yours with your favorite fixins. Go big and upgrade to a large drink and holster fry for the full cowboy experience. Get it while you can. Steak and cheese is here for a limited time only. See you soon at Roy Rogers.
Anchored in a region that stretches across vibrant cities and historic landscapes, our institutions are driven by a commitment to academic and athletic excellence. Our student athletes are not only champions through competition and in the classroom, they are lending a helping hand to build a better tomorrow. Join us in shaping a brighter future in the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference.
We welcome you back here to Jim Whalen Boardwalk Hall. My name is Adam Pohl. We're getting ready for the Mount and Sienna, the final of 4 quarterfinals in this MAC tournament. The winner of this game to take on the 7th seed Fairfield tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. Well, earlier this week, I was able to sit down with Mount head coach in Donnie Lynn, and here was our conversation.
One of our better performances of the year, and the response by our guys after Friday at Sacred Heart losing that game that way, to respond in 36 short hours later and be ready to play that well and play that connected was awesome. Our defensive energy and intensity was what we want. And as a coach, we always got some nitpicky things we want to keep getting better at, and we'll work on those things. But the thing that carried us was that energy, effort, connectedness. And, when there was a mistake made and a teammate was there to cover it up. And, that's the sort of play that it takes to win big games in February and March.
Yeah, and I know that you've got a lot of veteran players, and they seem to really, really be standing tall. The two that really shined to me over the last few weeks, taking a step forward, Arlandis Keys, what he has done defensively, but also scoring the ball, being a creator. And then, of course, he kind of battled illness a few weeks ago. It was huge to see Trey DeVoe have the scoring game he did against Fairfield. He only played 20 minutes. He almost scored a point per minute.
Yeah, those guys, all of our older guys, they've got that urgency right now.
Yeah.
They know, we got several guys who it's their last go round, and they want to go out the way they want to go out. And I don't have to do a lot to motivate those guys. They understand what's at stake every night. They understand what it takes to win. Having X and Landis, who played so many minutes last year, especially down the stretch, having those guys out there now, dang near the whole game. They can lead and get the 5 guys on the court to be playing the way that you need to play to be successful in March. And it's that urgency, it's that intensity. It's one of the things we talk about is on defense, all that matters is that the Mount gets a stop.
Yeah.
Right. That's the only goal. There's only one goal. And on offense, there's also only one goal, and it's that the Mount scores.
Right.
However, that one's a little bit harder for players to understand, because everybody wants to be the person who puts the ball in the basket. I mean, since I was a little kid, it's like a drug. It gets you excited. You feel good when you're the person who puts the ball in the basket. But, these older guys understand, Landis and X especially, they understand, and they've taught the other guys on the team that when you get into big games at the end of the year, all that matters is that the Mount scores. It doesn't matter who is the person who puts the ball in the basket. It doesn't matter who gets the assist. It matters that when we go down there on offense, we create a great shot so that the Mountain has a chance to score. And, that sort of mentality and that sort of mindset gives you a ton of confidence and hope going into, the conference tournament, most important, 3 or 4 days of the year. So it's an exciting time where, certainly everyone's anxious and ready to get to Atlantic City, but we got things to do before that to make sure that we're ready to go and continuing to, we have to continue to get better. I think a lot of times,
Mhm.
everybody wants to skip steps and just go play the game. We've got days of film and lifting and stretching and practice that those things matter if you want to be able to win a championship. If you overlook those days, you're setting yourself up for failure. So we got a great mindset right now, and we'll continue to get ready so that we are playing, some of our best basketball these next, hopefully 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, so the Mount is the 6th seed here in the upcoming MAC tournament. That means you get a bye. You don't have to play in the first round on Thursday night, and therefore your first game will be Saturday night, 8:30 p.m. against Siena. We'll take a look at that matchup here later in our conversation. But off the court, away from everything, you have a lot of time here. You played on Sunday afternoon. It's about 6 days between the mentality, the mindset. Sometimes players, these games are so important. I mean, your team did such a great job of kind of embracing the moment, being ready for it a year ago. You've got a lot of different players, a lot of people that might be playing in their first ever MAC tournament. What do you do as a coach to try to have your team in that right mindset come Saturday night?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a juxtaposition, I guess, because part of it is you want it to feel normal. Right. You want to do the normal preparation that we do, the normal type of practices, the normal drills and those things. But we also can't, ignore the elephant in the room. These are these are very meaningful games at the end of the year. It's win or go home time. And so there's an acknowledgement of that. But, with the idea of, hey, this is a moment that comes up, you get a chance to own that moment, and you can make it what you want it to be. And, or the other side is you let the moment own you, and you're reactionary. And this team has done a great job all year long at, no matter what happens, being ready to respond like a champion. And so that sort of mentality, that sort of mindset that we've built all year is what carries you into the tournament time.
So great conversation there with Coach Donnie Lim. We're going to take another break. We return as we're getting ready for the start of this MAC quarterfinal. Mount St. Mary's and Siena here from Atlantic City.
Grab one of many offerings from Fin City Brewing from their home in Ocean City all across the great state of Maryland. And while heading to the shore, visit their new tap room at 12911 Ocean Gateway, Unit 2 in West Ocean City. Fin City Brewing, born on the water of Ocean City.
Anchored in a region that stretches across vibrant cities and historic landscapes, our institutions are driven by a commitment to academic and athletic excellence. Our student athletes are not only champions through competition and in the classroom, they are lending a helping hand to build a better tomorrow. Join us in shaping a brighter future in the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference.
Educational Systems Federal Credit Union is proud to support the education community on the court, on campus, and everywhere in between. For more than 70 years, Educational Systems FCU has helped educators, students, and their families reach their financial goals with lower loan rates, higher savings returns, and service that puts people first. Whether you're planning for what's next or celebrating today's victories, they're here to help you build a brighter financial future. Educational Systems Federal Credit Union, making financial wellness possible for the education community. Learn more at esfcu.org.
We challenge ourselves every day, academically, physically, and spiritually, to strive for excellence by pushing ourselves beyond our limits. At our mountain campus, we know what it takes to be great, to pursue our passion for learning, to build lifelong bonds, to stand up for our beliefs, to enjoy a life of purpose. At Mount St. Mary's University, we create lives of significance.
Well, they moved the schedule of this MAC tournament up, and that means that there are more schools in town as the quarterfinals are on the weekend. And my goodness, we just had an electric atmosphere here for Marist and Quinnipiac. Marist, the 5 seed, with an incredible win over Quinnipiac, a 2-point victory as a block near the buzzer ended it when Trey Turnage tried to tie the game for the Bobcats. And the preseason number 1 in the MAC has been eliminated. So right now, the number 1 seed Merrimack is going to face the number 5 seed Marist tomorrow night at 6 in the first semifinal. And then after last night's upset of Fairfield over St. Peter's, the 7 over the 2 seed, the winner of this game will take on the young and talented Stags of Fairfield, a team the Mount beat just days ago on the road to earn this 6th seed and get into this game. And we'll see if the Mount can earn their way to a 2nd straight semifinal. Of course, Mount St. Mary's has gone to 7 NCAA tournaments, 3rd most in MAC history. Only 1 time the champion of the MAC in their 3 seasons in MAC play prior. Siena has won the 2nd most MAC championships of all time. They have won 6. They've gone to the NCAA tournament 6 times. They have not been since 2010. Their head coach, Jerry McNamara, the former assistant at Syracuse, they have been dreaming that this was their year. But we will see. They're going to have to go through the Mount. Siena, the 3 seed, 13-7 in league play, a 21 season for the Saints. Mount St. Mary's 11-9. Siena, a winner at Knott Arena in the lone other meeting between these two. 67-50 was that final. Let's take a look at the starting lineups first for Mount St. Mary's. The Mount gets it going with Orlandis Keys, who had an outstanding MAC tournament a year ago, scoring 12.7 points per game in their 3-game run to the title. Trey DeVoe scored 19 points in just 20 minutes against Fairfield, the senior in his lone year at the Mount, looking to make a big run in the tournament. The big fella, Luke McKeldon, averaging 15 points and 8.3 rebounds per game in the last 4, a prolific stretch, the MAC's leader in field goal percentage. He shot 64.7% from the field this year. Anthony Arrington will start today. He has hit a 3-pointer in 3 of the last 4 games, had 7 points in the win at Fairfield. And Xavier Lipscomb, the grad student in his 4th year at the Mount, had a double-double at Sacred Heart a week ago, 10 points, 10 rebounds tonight. His 100th career start. Mount head coach Donnie Lind in his 2nd year, his 2nd straight season, leading the Mount into the tournament as the 6th seed. Now for Siena and head coach Jerry McNamara, also in his 2nd season. They get it going with a senior point guard, Justice Schultz. He's played well against the Mount, averaging 15.3 points per game in 3 career games. The sophomore guard, 1st team All-MAC selection, Gavin Doty. The highest scoring average for a Siena Saint in 15 years, averaging 17.5 points per game. The Marylander, a youngster, he had a dominant day at Knott Arena. He's been outstanding. The 6'7" big Francis Full-of-Fact scored 15 points, all of which in the second half in Siena's win against the Mount on January 9th. The 3-point specialist, Brendan Coyle, former walk-on, and then the 7-foot grad student, Riley Mulvey, who came over from Iowa his first year at Siena. Of course, Iowa's former coach, Fran McCaffrey, the longtime coach at Siena. Oh my! Non-conference play. 20 games in the conference leads us here to Boardwalk Hall, and a huge crowd from the Mount faithful behind us. We're ready to go. The Mount in their light blue tops, those Carolina blue tops with dark blue numbers and white trim. Siena with their white tops, gold numbers and blue and green trim. The quarterfinal about to get going. It's going to be McKeldon in the jump circle for the Mount and Mulvey for Siena. Again, AK Kebe is dressed, not starting, but he looks like he will play tonight. Opening tip It's won by Mount St. Mary's. Here we go. Time for Mount basketball from the MAC tournament. The MAC quarterfinal is underway. Around the perimeter it goes. Arrington up top. Arrington on the dribble straight away. Arrington around the screen. Foul line. Kick out. DeVoe. DeVoe handing to Lipscomb, right wing. A patient possession. DeVoe pump fake on a three. He's driving. Jump stop. DeVoe puts it off glass short and Coyle the rebound. Here comes Siena. 30 seconds in. Just underway. Schultz across the timeline. And Keys trying to take it away from Mulvey. It's a wide open Coyle three, and it's good from the corner. Brendan Coyle as Orlando's Keys trying to take it away. 3-0 Siena. And Mount St. Mary's gets into a half-court set. Again, can the Mount score the ball against these Saints? Their toughest offensive game of MAC play was against Siena. Back to the bucket, turning DeVoe. Back iron, no. And Siena the rebound, full effect. Saints leading 3-0. They bring it up the floor. DeVoe got a post touch back to the bucket. Turned, hit the back iron. Here's Schultz, center logo. Left-handed dribble guarded by Arrington. Mulvey, the 7-footer, comes out between the rings. He's going to hand for Coyle. Coyle now for Mulvey, 10 to shoot. Here's Doty, was knocked away. Doty's going to chase it down. Backcourt 6. Doty on the drive. Doty going right. Doty fading baseline jumper, and it's good with 2 on the shot clock. And a big start for the Saints on top, 5-0. Great defensive possession there, but Doty made the play late in the shot clock. Mount St. Mary's basketball. Left wing lob across the floor. McElden scores. He caught it on a lob across the lane from Lipscomb, and he went right up, put it off glass and into the Mounts on the board. 5-2 Siena. Here's Schultz going right near the baseline. Schultz now under the basket, reverse layup, good. Siena's made their first 3 shots. They lead the Mounts 7-2. Here's Lipscomb across the timeline. Gets the play call from Donnie Lynn. Lipscomb going right, still on the outside. Up top, McKeldin, the big fella. McKeldin still with the basketball. Looking, puts it to the floor on the dribble. Now it's Lipscomb on the baseline. Finding McKeldin, 10 to shoot. Back out Orlando's Keys. Keys driving right. Keys step back triple off the left side of the iron. Mulvey the rebound. 7-2 Siena. The Saints come up the floor. Schultz, right sideline. Up top, Coyle. He steps into a long 3. It's off the front of the iron. What a long rebound for Siena. Schultz now on the dribble, settles things down. Around his screen left. Now Doty, pull-up jump shot. It's off the back iron. Fight for the rebound, and the Mounts on it. First stop for Mount St. Mary's. 7-2 Siena. We're about 3 minutes in. The MAC quarterfinal here from Boardwalk Hall. Left wing 3, Arrington off the iron, too strong. It bounded in the air, nearly went down. The Saints with the rebound, they bring it up the floor. K-Bay is getting ready to check in here for Mount St. Mary's with 16:48 to play here in this first half. Mulvey the big bringing McKeldin away from the bucket. Top of the key, handing for Schultz. Doesn't like to shoot that 3 ball. Mulvey bouncing, post touch now. Folefak going to work left of the lane. Folefak guarded by DeVoe. Muscling in. Folefak double team comes. Coyle's going to get a right wing 3. No good off the iron. Lipscomb the rebound. Here comes the Mount. Down by 5. Orlando's Keys, screen right. He goes left. Keys caught in the air, finding DeVoe. Here's a corner jumper across the iron. No. Rebound, fought for, the Mounts got it. Arrington goes up strong, scores with the right hand. And the Mount off the offensive rebound. It's 7-4. Siena leading. Here is Gavin Doty walking it into the front court. Doty screen left, goes around it. Doty on the drive, stopping, kick out to Schultz. Top of the key, left-handed drive. Now it's Folefak, the big on the take, in the lane. Short on the shot, and the Mount gets the rebound. DeVoe. Mount St. Mary's starting to dig in defensively. Lipscomb back to Keys. Baseline drive. Keys swings it up top. DeVoe pump fake on a 3. Lipscomb now into the corner. It's Keys, a triple for the tie. Yes, sir! We're tied at 7 apiece. A 5-0 Mount run. Keys with a big jumper for the corner. Now Schultz front court right. Schultz on the outside. Right-handed dribble around the screen up top. Schultz mid-range pull-up jumper. No good front iron. Oh boy, the rebound was there for the taking. It went off DeVoe's hand, out of bounds. It'll be Siena basketball when we return from this first media timeout. We're tied at 7. 15-16 to play in the first half. The Mount took an initial punch. They have battled back. 7-all in the MAC quarterfinal. This is Mount St. Mary's basketball.
We challenge ourselves every day, academically, physically, and spiritually, to strive for excellence by pushing ourselves beyond our limits. At our mountain campus, we know what it takes to be great, to pursue our passion for learning, to build lifelong bonds, to stand up for our beliefs, to enjoy a life of purpose. At Mount St. Mary's University, we create lives of significance.
Hey, Mount fans, looking for insurance you can trust? Meet Daisy Gardner from Lindquist Insurance. With expertise in personal, commercial, and life insurance, Daisy is dedicated to protecting what matters most to you. Call Daisy Gardner today and experience the friendly professional service you deserve. The number 240-297-0628. Mount fans, protect your future with Daisy. Now we want to thank some of our great sponsors and supporters of Mount St. Mary's basketball. Mount Basketball brought to you by our good friends at Roof Docks. Integrity, quality, simplicity. By Utz, taste the moment. And by Wolf's Bus Lines, leading the pack in tours, charters, and experiences. We're tied at 7. Siena caught a little bit of a break there off the missed jumper by Schultz. DeVoe was there for the rebound, just went off his hands, rolled out of bounds. And it's Siena basketball, 20 to shoot. They're going to inbound here from baseline left. Schultz will trigger the Saints offense. (15-16) to play in this first half. Mount St. Mary's getting a big three from the corner from Orlandis Keys to tie the game. So Schultz to inbound, still looking, tough time getting it in. Schultz, and his pass was knocked away by McKeldin. Out of bounds to stay Siena basketball. Nearly a 5-second violation there. Siena didn't want to use their timeout. Now the lob into full effect just inside the three-point line. K-Bay's in the game for the Mount. Mount St. Mary's is in a zone. Full effect. Inside the lane, trying to get to his right hand. Now going left. Takes another step. Whistle and a travel. And it's Mount St. Mary's basketball. Full effect, dominated the second half at Knott Arena. The Mount brought a double team, and he lifted his pivot foot. And now Mount St. Mary's looks for their first lead of the game. Here's K-Bay. Up top, Justin Amati checking in. Hands for Lipscomb between the rings. Now Keys, guarded by Doty. They're trying to get a post touch, they do. McKeldin a long way from the bucket. Guarded by this 7-footer Mulvey. Gets to his right side, McKeldin puts it up and in, but they whistle him for a travel. Trying to get a little too close. And the turnover gives it back to Siena. Patrick Haig is checked in for the Mount here for Keys. Mount St. Mary's a team that will go deeper into their bench than what we see from Siena. Can they wear down the Saints? They tried to do it on January 9th at Knott Arena. It was Siena that closed with a big run. Doty lost his dribble. He's guarded by K-Bay. They got to get it across the timeline, just do. Here's Schultz on the dribble drive. He's at the foul line. Kick out to Coyle, and the Mount gets back defensively. Schultz between the rings. Guarded by Haig. Haig's close on him, 13 to shoot. He's trying to take him. Schultz brings it. Jump pass full effect, down low, kick out. It's a Doty three. Spins off the iron. The Mount's getting physical. Rebounded by Mount St. Mary's. Here they come. Lipscomb jogging it up the center of the floor with a right-handed dribble. McKeldin on the outside. Right back to Lipscomb. McKeldin gives the screen. Here's K-Bay up top. K-Bay right-handed dribble. On the drive, K-Bay stopping. Looking to pop. Finds Haig now. 10 to shoot. Not much happening here for the Mount. 7 to shoot. The handoff, K-Bay's gonna look for 3. Just grazed the right side of the iron. Siena will come the other way. We're tied at 7 here in the MAC quarterfinal, first half. 13:44 to play. Schultz driving to the baseline. Kick out, Folefak. Folefak trying to take it to McKeldin. It's on the floor. He gets it back, kicks it out to Coyle. Repose Folefak just inside the three-point line. K-Bay takes it away! K-Bay takes it away! He drives it in, lays it up, no! The follow! Dunk! McKeldin! And Mount St. Mary's has their first lead of the game, 9-7. K-Bay took it away. Larceny at center court. Doty jump pass for Coyle. Driving, bouncing, Folefak. And Folefak finds a way to get it over the iron and score. It looked like it was blocked at the rim. We're tied at 9. We're not seeing many whistles in the early going. Lipscomb, and they're going to call Amati off the ball as he tried to find a way to gain some low post positioning. Offensive foul, Siena basketball. And now Mason So and Yakia Diop will come into the game. Siena has not made, they just made their first substitution as they bring in the freshman Isaiah Henderson. So the Mount. And now they get it to the freshman who also comes in, Christian Jones. Ever so quick, he's guarded by K-Bay. The length, Jones 5'11" against the 6'7" K-Bay. Here's Schultz between the rings, guarded by Mason So. Schultz around the screen left, inside the arc. Schultz, they whistle it. It hits the back of the iron on a jump shot. And all of a sudden, Schultz is going to the line to shoot 2 in this 9-9 game. 12:38 to play, first half. We didn't see a foul in the first 7 minutes. 2 quick ones against them out. Schultz 69% at the line this year. Ben to the knee, free throws in the air, and it is good. Siena 10, Mount St. Mary's 9. And now the second attempt. It's in the air, and it is good. So Siena back in front. 2-point lead for the Saints. As K-Bay will inbound the Mount again, going with a reserve-laden lineup right now. Can they get a big bucket? So up the center of the floor. So bouncing for Amati near the foul line, turning to his right. Amati goes up strong and scores off glass and in to tie the game at 11. What a take by the grad big man in Amati. Explosive. We're tied at 11. Jones across the timeline, handing for Schultz, who's got it center circle. Calls out the play. 17 to shoot. Schultz now. Outside right is Henderson. Henderson. Now Coyle. 3-ball en route. Good. His second 3 of the game. Coyle knocking it down off a curl. And Siena's up 14-11. So guarded closely. So still on the outside. On the dribble. Around the screen from Diop. Jump pass. And it's going to be last touched by Diop on a pinballing pass. Out of bounds, Siena basketball. So we got a timeout on the floor, 11:43 to play. First half, our score, Siena 14, Mount St. Mary's 11. You're listening to the MAC quarterfinal here of the MAC Tournament 2026 from Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City. Federal Credit Union is proud to support the education community on the court, on campus, and everywhere in between. For more than 70 years, Educational Systems FCU has helped educators, students, and their families reach their financial goals with lower loan rates, higher savings returns, and service that puts people first. Whether you're planning for what's next or celebrating today's victories, they're here to help you build a brighter financial future. Educational Systems Federal Credit Union, making financial wellness possible for the education community. Learn more at esfcu.org.
Grab one of many offerings from Fin City Brewing from their home in Ocean City all across the great state of Maryland. And while heading to the shore, visit their new tap room at 12911 Ocean Gateway, Unit 2 in West Ocean City. Fin City Brewing, born on the water of Ocean City.
Now Siena's gotten 2 Brendan Coyle 3-pointers. He's already attempted 4 in the first 8 minutes and 17 seconds of the game. And the Saints are on top of the Mount 14-11. Coyle had his best ever career game against the Mount. 2 years ago, he went 7 for 7 from 3. Actually, it was last year, scored 26 points in Siena's win in Albany. $11:43 to play. Mount St. Mary's is going to bring K-Bay, and also Lipscomb and Keys are into the game here. 14-11. The lead for Siena, and the Saints will have the basketball here. Christian Jones will inbound it. Mount St. Mary's bringing a little bit of pressure here. They inbound to Coyle. He gets it back to Jones. Siena the 3 seed. Mount St. Mary's the 6 seed. K-Bay pestering Jones, and K-Bay knocked it away. But Siena is able to recover. K-Bay already with a steal at center court that led to a bucket. Shoots on the outside. Guarded by Lipscomb around the screen. Bouncing Full-Effect at the foul line. Full-Effect still with it. Lobbing up top to Henderson, 5 to shoot. Schultz has to make it up with 4. Pull up 2, front iron, no. Offensive rebound. Coyle, Henderson, 3 ball. Across the iron, no. Keys the rebound, down to the floor with it. Gets it over to K-Bay. Here comes the Mount. Down by 3. K-Bay right wing. Post touch. Amadi facing up, spinning. Ball's on the floor. Double team comes. Knocked away, out of bounds. Mount basketball. Siena has not committed a foul in over 9 minutes here. They ruled the clean block there. Baseline right, the Mount will inbound, 19 to shoot. Diop still on the floor for Mount St. Mary's, along with Keys, Arrington, DeVoe, and Lipscomb, who will inbound baseline right here. Lipscomb looking. Gets it in right wing for Keys. He thought about the 3 ball, didn't take it. He drives it. Keys under the basket, kick out Arrington. Arrington on the drive, backs it up a bit. Arrington back to the bucket, turning, gets to his right hand in the lane, fading jumper, short, and the rebound loose. It's on the floor, and Arrington's got it again. Arrington looking, kick out, Keys 3, top of the key, no, right side of the iron. Arrington rebound, no good. It's out of bounds, Siena basketball. Great effort. The Mount was winning those battles on the glass, but they just couldn't finish it. The 14-11 Siena. And the Saints with the basketball, and the Mount guards the length of the floor. Doty will bring it up here. Doty with a left-handed dribble across the timeline. Left side of the floor, front court. Doty's got the screen and Mulvey. Doty bouncing from Mulvey, the 7-footer. Top of the key. Siena, nobody on the low post. Here's Doty, mid-range pull-up jumper. It's an air ball long, and Mount St. Mary's has got it. Here comes Lipscomb up the center of the floor. Down by 3. Finding Keys on the drive. Keys, Euro step kick out. Arrington pump faking a 3. He's not going to take it. Now back to the bucket. Arrington bustling his way in. Bounce pass. Diop knocked away, stripped by Jones. Here comes Siena the other way. Jones finds Henderson. Henderson, no good in transition. Diop the rebound. Mount St. Mary's the other way. A lob ahead for Keys. Keys front court left. No chance in transition. 14-11 Siena. A defense first start. Arrington baseline drive. Blocked away by Mulvey. The 7-footer, they go to the ground. Mount St. Mary's has it. DeVoe double team. Jump pass for Lipscomb. Taking it in. Kick out. It's a corner. Arrington 3 for the tie. But across the iron now. Offensive rebound. DeVoe fouled. And he'll get to the line to shoot 2. Physicality galore. And Mount St. Mary's battling. Cannot buy a bucket right now. 5 of 18 from the floor is the Mount here. But my goodness, they get to the line, and let's see if they can cash in here. as DeVoe's free throw is good. 14-12 as Trey DeVoe, who again had a spectacular game against Fairfield. He played just 20 minutes, led them out with 19 points. Mount St. Mary's surging coming into this tournament, winners of 5 of their last 6. They're 9-4 in their last 13 as he makes them both and the Mounts within 1. And a dominant win over Fairfield, who awaits the winner of this game tomorrow night. The Mount winning by 20-plus points on senior night at Fairfield. Here's Schultz on the outside going left. Schultz into the lane, tough runner, wild shot, no good. McKeldin got the rebound, and the Mount looks to run. Here comes Keys driving it in. Keys got caught in the air, finds McKeldin. McKeldin gets contact, and it'll go to the line to shoot 2. Siena could not get their defense set off of the wild shot by Schultz. It didn't even touch the iron. So McKeldin struggling on the air of the line. Only 42% looking to tie it up here. It's in the air and it's good. 14 all with 8:55 to play first half. McKeldin took a rest. He's got 5 points now in this one. The second. Oh, it did everything but go down. Rims off the iron. Siena comes the other way in this tie game. A defense first battle here in the MAC quarterfinal. Full effect, foul line extended. Up top for Mulvey. Mulvey now finding Jones. The Mount gets out to take away the 3 ball. Jones, the quickness, the freshman, bouncing full effect in the lane. Goes up strong, no good. Late whistle and foul. The Mount was about to take home that rebound when the whistle went. First foul on McKeldin, 3rd team foul. And full effect at the line, shooting 2, where he's a 74% shooter, the freshman from Laurel, Maryland. It's in the air, and it is good. 15-14 Siena. It has been a battle. And the first matchup between these two, Siena had a better shooting percentage from 2-point range. That has been one of the things that Mount St. Mary's has faced it on, their ability to shut down teams as far as 2-point field goal percentage. Full effect makes both 16-14 Siena. They post up Lipscomb under the basket, pass deflected. Lipscomb gets it back. DeVoe pump fake at a 3. He's driving it. DeVoe underneath. Kick out. Arrington on the take. Pull up mid-range jumper. In and out. And full effect the rebound. Siena the other way. Schultz, half-court set. Mulvey, the big man up top. Mulvey handing for Doty. Doty going to work behind the back dribble. Doty now for full effect. Dribbling it into DeVoe. In the lane, fouled, and he'll get right back to the line. So all of a sudden, the whistles are starting to haunt them out. 3 straight calls. And full effect, who just made 2 foul shots, will be right back at the line when we return from this media timeout. 7:55 to play first half of the MAC quarterfinal here from Jim Whalen Boardwalk Hall. Our score is Siena 16, Mount St. Mary's 14.
The time has come. The steak and cheese sandwich is back at Roy Rogers. Savory or spicy, make it yours with your favorite fixins. Go big and upgrade to a large drink and holster fry for the full cowboy experience. Get it while you can. Steak and cheese is here for a limited time only. See you soon at Roy Rogers.
Anchored in a region that stretches across vibrant cities and historic landscapes, our institutions are driven by a commitment to academic and athletic excellence. Our student athletes are not only champions through competition and in the classroom, they are lending a helping hand to build a better tomorrow. Join us in shaping a brighter future in the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference.
Well, I thought that foul was on Trey DeVoe, but they are whistling the foul against Luke McKeldin, and that is critical. He has picked up 2 quick fouls on consecutive possessions. The Mount big man leading the way with 5 points for Mount St. Mary's right now. Full-Effect will be at the line, 16-14, Siena in front. Fans, a big thank you to Lindquist Insurance. Protect what matters most to you. By our good friends at Hershey's Ice Cream. We have something for everyone. And by Cadore Memorials, we preserve stories for all time. Well, Donnie Lynn likes to play players, I don't know if he likes to, but he plays players with 2 fouls in the first half, more than most coaches. And Luke McKeldin's got 2 fouls, and he stays in the game. So Haig, K-Bay, DeVoe, and McKeldin are on the floor. Full effect, first of 2, good. 17-14, Siena. The Mount only 5 of 19 from the field. They're 1 of 7 from 3. Full effect has made 3 in a row, and he makes it 4 straight at the line. 18-14, Siena in front. Let's see what the Mount can do here. Mason So will bring it up with a right-handed dribble. So goes to the right side of the floor. So up top for Haig, near the center stripe. Here's K-Bay, guarded by Doty. They're trying to post up McKeldin. He's got it back to the bucket. Double team's coming. K-Bay now flashes to the hole, passes at his knees. Live ball turnover, Doty the other way. Finding Jones, 3-ball right wing across the iron. And Mount St. Mary's the rebound. DeVoe brings it up off the board. Trey DeVoe. Here's Mason So outside right. So on the wing. So around the screen. Now McKeldin, foul line extended. Now back to the bucket outside the lane. McKeldin getting to his right side. Hooks it. And it doesn't go. McKeldin offensive rebound. Luke McKeldin goes up. No foul. Reverse layup does not go. Siena basketball 18-14 leading them out. And right now Mount St. Mary's is just cold as ice from the floor. But they're still within 4. Mulvey straight away. Now swings a pass left side for Jones. Just saved it. Nearly got away from the freshman. The Full-Effect, low block left side. 8 to shoot. He's going into DeVoe. Turns to his left hand. Full-Effect under the hoop. Can't get it to go. Hit the underside of the backboard. Wild shot there. DeVoe's on the drive all the way in. DeVoe goes up. No good. Gets it back. DeVoe scores! No foul. And it's 18-16. Amongst the trees, here's Doty, crossover dribble. Lost the handle for a moment. Doty for Full-Effect, top of the key. Here's Jones outside left. 6:16 to play in this first half. Screen right. Jones now going left. Jones into the corner for Schultz. Schultz, they're trying to post up Mulvey, the 7-footer. He's being guarded by K-Bay. Swings a pass to Doty. Doty contested. Back iron, no fight for the rebound. Out of bounds. It'll stay Siena basketball. And the Mount's going to bring in Lipscomb, Keys, and Amati. Coyle, the 3-point specialist, in for Siena. It is a defensive battle here in the 4th and final quarterfinal. Not a surprise between these two. Baseline left, Schultz swings it, corner, open 3, Doty, good. The out-of-bounds play gets an open 3, and it's 21-16, Siena. Their first field goal in 4 minutes. Here's Lipscomb. Finding McKeldin near the 3-point line. He's going to hand it for Keys. Keys on the dribble drive. Jump pass. McKeldin catches and finishes. Beautiful play by Keys. And it's 21-18. McKeldin the reverse layup at the iron. Schultz front court right. Keys turning more into a playmaker late in the year. Full-Effect near center court. Here's Mulvey. Now Schultz. Left wing. Schultz driving. Schultz is under the basket. Jump pass out. Doty saves it. Here's Coyle. Coyle bouncing. Mulvey on the outside. Swings it cross court. Schultz tough pull up. Jumper. Back iron. Doesn't go. Amati the contested rebound. Here comes the Mount down by 3. Lipscomb center of the court. Front court around the screen. 3-ball for the tie. In and out. My goodness. It was right there. And Siena with possession. Schultz Guarded by Kebe. Kebe is looking to take that ball away. Schultz driving left of the lane, under the basket, swings it out, long Doty three, no good across the iron. Oh my, Mulvey kept it alive and knocked it off the foot of Keys. A great play, out of bounds, Siena basketball. Siena and the Mount each shooting sub 30% for the field in the game. Nothing coming easy. Diop has checked in for McKeldin here. 4:40 to play. The lob in for Folefak. Now around the perimeter. Oh, Keys nearly a steal. Right wing catching. Coyle's going to take a three ball well strong, and it's on the floor. The Mount's got the rebound. The Mount was scurrying to find him, and they got into his head a little bit there. Down by 3. Here's Mount St. Mary's. Limska. Now Arrington right of the circle. Backs it up. Here's Keys. Keys going right inside the arc. Keys swings it out, Diop. Up top, Arrington. 13 to shoot. Arrington, three ball for the tie. Off the heel of the iron. Arrington just can't get anything to go. He's 1 for 8 from the field. That's the guy that Siena's hoping shoots. Folefak going into Amadi. Double team comes. Folefak. Kick out. Top of the key. Coyle. Three ball. Back iron. No. Fight for the rebound. Oh, St. Mary's has got it. Diop over to Arrington. Now it's Keys. Keys driving it in. Keys kick out for Lipscomb. Nothing coming easy for either side. Lipscomb bouncing. Low block touch against the guard. Amadi hit it, taking away a steal. Here's Christian Joe, or Schultz, I should say. Schultz drives in, Euro step. Layup, no, the follow, good. Brandon Coyle with a follow score. 23-18 Siena. 3:23 and counting, first half. Coyle has got 8 points. As here's Diop. Hands it for Keys. Keys driving it in amongst the trees. Lost it for a moment. Gets it back without his dribble. Back out to Arrington. 8 to shoot. Arrington, mano-a-mano, guarded by Coyle. Arrington spins in the lane. Runner. No good. Tip by Amadi. Doesn't go down. Siena basketball. They've got a 5-point lead. Here comes Doty. Doty driving in. Lost it for a moment. Swings it for Mulvey. Mulvey can't find it. Out of bounds. Staying Siena basketball. Timeout on the floor. 2:48 to play. First half. Siena will have possession. They lead them out 23-18. You're listening to Mount St. Mary's basketball from the MAC tournament in Atlantic City.
We challenge ourselves every day, academically, physically, and spiritually, to strive for excellence by pushing ourselves beyond our limits. At our mountain campus, we know what it takes to be great, to pursue our passion for learning, to build lifelong bonds, to stand up for our beliefs, to enjoy a life of purpose. At Mount St. Mary's University, we create lives of significance.
Hey, Mount fans, looking for insurance you can trust? Meet Daisy Gardner from Lindquist Insurance. With expertise in personal, commercial, and life insurance, Daisy is dedicated to protecting what matters most to you. Call Daisy Gardner today and experience the friendly professional service you deserve. The number 240-297-0628. Mount fans, protect your future with Daisy.
Up to join me today, my friend Joe.
We've got 2:48 remaining in the first half of this MAC quarterfinal. Our score is Siena 23, Mount St. Mary's 18. The Mount has struggled from the floor here early in this game, as the Mount 7 of 28 and just 1 of 9 from 3. So they've got to find a little bit of offense here. Remember, they only scored 50 in the first meeting against Siena. It has been an absolute battle here between these two. Siena basketball, 21 to shoot. As baseline right, Schultz will inbound. Nothing coming easy. here in Atlantic City. Schultz to inbound, bouncing down low. Mulvey scores. Second quick bucket on an out-of-bounds play for Siena. Mulvey caught it with momentum coming to the bucket, and the Saints have their largest lead of the game. They're up by 7, 25-18. Here's Lipscomb going left on the outside post, touch DeVoe, guarded by Folafak. DeVoe puts it to the ground, jump stop in the lane, puts it up, no good, off the left side of the iron. Good look, just didn't go down. And now Siena with the basketball. Schultz behind the back, dribble. Now Folafak for Mulvey, left wing Coyle. The Mount guarding closely. Bounce for Doney. Doney going to his right inside the arc. Doney lost it over to Mulvey, who scores. 27-18 Siena. Big spot of the game for the Mount as the Saints have made a big run here. Keys has got it between the rings. McKeldin getting ready to check back in. Arrington inside the arc. Back out for DeVoe. Here is Harlandis Keys. Screen right, he goes around it. Keys step back three. Good! The Mount needed it desperately. And it's 27-21 Siena. They've got to find a way to get Keys more shots. Here's Schultz walking it across the timeline. Can the Mount get a big stop here and start to battle their way back? Up top, Coyle, three ball coming, and he hits it. 30-21. Coyle off the screen, his third three of the first half. And it's a 9-point Siena lead. Lipscomb, outside right on the dribble. Screen left. Lipscomb goes right. Lipscomb driving. Now back to the bucket. Schultz guarding. Lipscomb in the lane, bouncing. DeVoe, fouled. And Trey DeVoe will go to the line to shoot two here with 1:02 to play in the first half. If you're the Mount, you want to hang in there, maybe make a little bit of a spurt here, regroup, and come out for the second half. You got to try to wear down the Saints down the stretch in this one. DeVoe at the charity stripe. He's already made two today. No good. Kicking off the right side of the iron. Now K-Bay and McKeldin are in. 30-21 Siena. 1:02 to play. First half. Second attempt upcoming for Trey DeVoe. Whistle. They're making sure the substitutions occurred correctly. Second attempt for Trey DeVoe. It's in the air. No good, short. My goodness. Two big misses, and Siena's got a chance for a double-digit lead here in the final minute of the first half. 30-21, the Saints lead it. Schultz going left on the wing. Up top, Coyle around a screen. Three ball, good! Coyle is lighting up the Mount right now. He's made 4 threes, and it's 33-21 Siena. Lipscomb on the drive all the way in. Swings it, it was deflected out of bounds. It'll stay Mount basketball. 37.1 seconds to play in the first half. Siena's got a few ways in which they can get you. Coyle is sub 30% three-point shooter this year, but he's hit 4 in this opening half. K-Bay corner three off the inbound. No good. And Siena the rebound, and they can just about hold for the final shot of the half. Timeout Siena with 28.8 seconds remaining, and the Saints faithful are on their feet. 33-21, the Saints lead it. A big late run, 6-0 over the last minute for the Saints, and it has all been from the three ball from Brendan Coyle, and Mount St. Mary's is going to look at a big deficit here into the second half of play. Mount St. Mary's 8 of 31 from the floor. They're 2 of 11 from 3. Diop is going to check back into the game for McKeldin here. Or no, they're not allowing him to come into the game. No, Siena will inbound it. About a 3 or 4 second difference shot clock and game clock. Up by 12. Schultz will bring it up the floor. guarded by K-Bay. Schultz goes down to the ground for a moment. Mount St. Mary's is not in the, or is Siena not in the bonus yet? 4 fouls on the Mount. K-Bay guarding closely, 12 to shoot. Schultz on the drive, Schultz stopping, fadeaway jumper, good. Shot, the clock is running, 8 seconds left. Inbound to Lipscomb, the Mount's down 14. Cross-court feed to Vo, pump fake on a 3. Now it's gonna be Keys to the buzzer, top of the key 3, off the left side of the iron. A huge Siena run down the stretch. They score the final 8 points of the first half, and the Saints are up big at halftime here in Atlantic City. They lead them out 35 to 21. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back with a look at our halftime stats and a conversation later at our halftime with Mount St. Mary's grad guard Xavier Lipscomb, who today is making his 100th career start for Mount St. Mary's basketball. A long road to home for the Mount, trying to come back in this one. Our score is Siena 35, Mount St. Mary's 21. Halftime in Atlantic City. We're back with more right after this.
Every day, academically, physically, and spiritually, to strive for excellence by pushing ourselves beyond our limits. At our mountain campus, we know what it takes to be great, to pursue our passion for learning, to build lifelong bonds, to stand up for our beliefs, to enjoy a life of purpose. At Mount St. Mary's University, we create lives of significance.
Hey, Mount fans, looking for insurance you can trust? Meet Daisy Gardner from Lindquist Insurance. With expertise in personal, commercial, and life insurance, Daisy is dedicated to protecting what matters most to you. Call Daisy Gardner today and experience the friendly professional service you deserve. The number 240-297-0628. Mount fans, protect your future with Daisy.
The time has come. The steak and cheese sandwich is back at Roy Rogers. Savory or spicy, make it yours with your favorite fixins. Go big and upgrade to a large drink and holster fry for the full cowboy experience. Get it while you can. Steak and cheese is here for a limited time only. See you soon at Roy Rogers.
Anchored in a region that stretches across vibrant cities and historic landscapes, our institutions are driven by a commitment to academic and athletic excellence. Our student athletes are not only champions through competition and in the classroom, they are lending a helping hand to build a better tomorrow. Join us in shaping a brighter future in the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference.
Siena finishes the first half on an 8-0 run. The Mount dance team was just out, an electric performance. Great job. What a job they have done this year. Siena is on top of the Mount, though, 35-21 here at the break. It was a close game for the majority of the first half, but the Saints kind of ran away late, and now Mount St. Mary's will fight to come back. Mount St. Mary's shot just 25% from the field in that first half. 8 of 32 from the floor. They were 2 of 12 from 3, 3 of 6 from the foul line. For Siena, they shot 39% of the floor, 5 of 15 from 3, 4 of those three-point makes from Brendan Coyle, the star of the first half. They made all 6 of their free throws. Coyle, 14 points on 4 of 8 shooting from three-point range for the Saints. Other stats in this game, the Mount out-rebounding Siena 23-21. Mount St. Mary's with 10 offensive rebounds. They had 8 second chance points in that first half. In the first half of play individually, 7 points. Leading the way, Luke McKeldin for the Mount. He had 4 rebounds. He has 2 fouls as well. Arlandis Keys has got 6 points. He made 2 threes, 4 from Trey DeVoe, 2 each. Arrington and Amadi Arrington had a tough half, though, 1 of 9 for the field. Lipscomb, K-Bay, Haig, So, and Diop played, but did not score. For Siena, they only played 7 players in that first half. Coyle with 14, 6 each. Schultz and Folefak. They got 5 from Doty, 4 from Mulvey. Henderson and Jones off the bench did not score. So Siena did not get a point from their bench in the first half, but they're up big over the Mount. 35-21 is our score. We're going to take another break. We return with a conversation with Mount St. Mary's grad guard Xavier Lipscomb. Xavier, a Mount champion here in his final run in the MAC tournament. That conversation coming up right after this. You're listening to Mount St. Mary's basketball. Again, our halftime score, Siena 35, Mount St. Mary's 21. Many offerings from Fin City Brewing, from their home in Ocean City, all across the great state of Maryland. And while heading to the shore, visit their new tap room at 12911 Ocean Gateway, Unit 2 in West Ocean City. Fin City Brewing, born on the water of Ocean City.
Anchored in a region that stretches across vibrant cities and historic landscapes, our institutions are driven by a commitment to academic and athletic excellence. Our student athletes are not only champions through competition and in the classroom, they are lending a helping hand to build a better tomorrow. Join us in shaping a brighter future in the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference.
Educational Systems Federal Credit Union is proud to support the education community on the court, on campus, and everywhere in between. For more than 70 years, Educational Systems FCU has helped educators, students, and their families reach their financial goals with lower loan rates, higher savings returns, and service that puts people first. Whether you're planning for what's next or celebrating today's victories, they're here to help you build a brighter financial future. Educational Systems Federal Credit Union, making financial wellness possible for the education community. Learn more at esfcu.org.
We challenge ourselves every day, academically, physically, and spiritually, to strive for excellence by pushing ourselves beyond our limits. At our mountain campus, we know what it takes to be great, to pursue our passion for learning, to build lifelong bonds, to stand up for our beliefs, to enjoy a life of purpose. At Mount St. Mary's University, we create lives of significance.
Now, and then I'll do a back and forth. Or like sometimes we're on the road,
We welcome you back to the MAC tournament. My name is Adam Pohl, and I'm joined here at halftime by Mount St. Mary's guard, Xavier Lipscomb. Xavier, tell me about, it's been quite a journey this year, no doubt about it. It's kind of interesting that the Mount is a 6th seed again, just like last year, because the journey has been so different to get to a similar spot. But I know you're excited for tonight.
We have a great opportunity ahead of ourselves, you know. All the hard work that we put in the summer and the fall, you know, has come to fruition. And, you know, we're just trying to win games at this point in the season.
How much fun has this year been for you?
It's been a lot of fun. You know, we got a different cast now than last year, but it's been fun learning my teammates and, you know, working with the guys and grinding with the guys, you know, ultimately to get wins for the Mount.
And your half-court defense, I think, has really stood tall. It has been something that has been steady for you throughout the year. Maybe around Christmas time, there was a little bit of a lull, but once you got K-Bay back in, Arrington joined the mix, it seemed like the They stood up.
You know, on the Mount.
Was a different player that was out almost every game, and trying to get that continuity in the months of November and December was pretty tough.
Yeah, it was tough. We caught the injury bug early. You know, we was trying to fight through that, and you know, whoever was available, you know, stepping up. But you know, hopefully down the line during this time of the year, when you know those guys who don't play as much now have had that experience, but if their number gets called, they'll be available and ready to, you know, perform at the best of their ability.
You then kind of got healthy, obviously, midway through conference play starting really in the beginning of January, the heart of it. And Mount St. Mary's over this last stretch, whether it's 10 games, 13 games, whatever it might be, has had one of the best records in the MAC. Has that been big for you guys to play better basketball in February than you were playing in December?
Coach Lynn says that we want to be playing our best or trending to our best, you know, towards the end of the season. So that's something that we wanted to do. But it's really a culmination of all the games, you know, all the experiences that we collected together that, you know, is going to be the product that we put out on the floor.
No doubt about that. With that being said, is it nice that one of your best games of the year was your last?
You know, it's a different day. You know, we're just trying to focus on what's new, but we can't focus on the past. And, you know, just keep building, keep stacking days, keep having good practices. And, you know, hopefully that will get us some wins on the weekends and in the tournament.
You've been forcing more turnovers here of late as a team, and I think that has really stood up. All year, the Mountain has been a team that has forced a lot of missed shots. But when you get these live ball turnovers, your teammate Arlandis Keys, my goodness, these last few home games, 6 steals, a wild number, and so many of them lead to transition buckets.
You know, early opportunities to score in transition are, you know, golden opportunities because the defense aren't set. So, you know, we try to pride ourselves on the defensive end to make it easier on offense.
And for you personally, X, it always seems to be like you have a feel, kind of maybe a pulse for the game. And what I mean by that is there are times where it feels like the Mountain needs a bucket and you're the one that's trying to step up and provide that, where you might not be looking for your shot, you know, every time down the floor. You have raised your points per game this year, but having that feel for the game and playing a winning brand of basketball, I know means a lot to you.
I just try to do whatever Coach Lynn tells me to do. Honestly, whatever helps the team win is that be scoring, rebounding, getting my teammates involved, playing defense. You know, whatever the team needs in that specific moment, that's what I try to pride myself in.
All righty. Well, it starts here on Saturday. We hope that it is a long run again in the MAC tournament. Best of luck, Xavier.
Thank you.
That's Mount Guard Xavier Lipscomb. We take a break. We're back with more here from Atlantic City right now.
Challenge ourselves every day, academically, physically, and spiritually, to strive for excellence by pushing ourselves beyond our limits. At our Mountain campus, we know what it takes to be great, to pursue our passion for learning, to build lifelong bonds, to stand up for our beliefs, to enjoy a life of purpose. At Mount St. Mary's University, we create lives of significance.
Hey, Mount fans, looking for insurance you can trust? Meet Daisy Gardner from Lindquist Insurance. With expertise in personal, commercial, and life insurance, Daisy is dedicated to protecting what matters most to you. Call Daisy Gardner today and experience the friendly professional service you deserve. The number 240-297-0628. Mount fans, protect your future with Daisy.
The time has come. The steak and cheese sandwich is back at Roy Rogers. Savory or spicy, make it yours with your favorite fixins. Go big and upgrade to a large drink and holster fry for the full cowboy experience. Get it while you can. Steak and cheese is here for a limited time only. See you soon at Roy Rogers.
Anchored in a region that stretches across vibrant cities and historic landscapes, Our institutions are driven by a commitment to academic and athletic excellence. Our student athletes are not only champions through competition and in the classroom, they are lending a helping hand to build a better tomorrow. Join us in shaping a brighter future in the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference.
We welcome you back here to Atlantic City courtside. Siena went on an 8-0 run in the last minute and change to close the first half. And all of a sudden, what was a very tight game for the majority of the opening 20 sees the Saints of Siena on top of the Mount 35-21. Brendan Coyle, the former walk-on for Siena, three-point specialist, hitting 4 threes. Mount St. Mary's struggling mightily from the field, shooting 25% in the opening half of basketball. And now Mount St. Mary's needing to come out and have probably their best half of basketball of this season. We'll see what they can do here as the second half about to get going. It was a battle, and Mount St. Mary's just saw Siena knock down big jumpers consistently down the stretch, and they were unable to match. So let's see what the Mount can do. Siena will have the basketball as the second 20 minutes gets underway here from Atlantic City. The Mount needs a big start here to get back into the game. 35-21 Siena, and the second half underway. Great to have you with us here from Atlantic City Boardwalk Hall and the MAC quarter final. Mulvey up top. Mulvey finding a cutting Doty all the way. Lays it in with the left hand. They got Doty on the move, and Siena's got their biggest lead of the game on top by 16. Here is Lipscomb driving. Lipscomb stopping. Kick out. Top of the key, DeVoe. DeVoe on the move. Foul line extended. DeVoe pull up jumper way short. DeVoe gets the rebound though. Back out to Lipscomb. 37-21 Siena. They post up. McKeldon outside the lane. Now he finds Lipscomb, who stepped on the sideline, and it turns it over to the Saints. 10-0 Siena run. Yeah, let's see what Mount can do here defensively. They give a little token pressure, now back off as Schultz brings it into the front court for the Saints. He's bouncing for Folefak, facing him outside the lane, double team comes. Now going up against DeVoe. Schultz is gonna look, cross court three ball, good. And the Saints are up by 19 points, 40-21. The Mount needed a big start to the second half, and it hasn't happened a minute in. Left wing, Lipscomb. Here is Arrington up top, driving right. Arrington stopping outside the lane. Keys, right wing three. Good! Arlandis Keys, his third three of the game. And it's 40-24. And now Mount St. Mary's needs to dig in. A lot of basketball left. Schultz inside the arc, finding Coyle. Coyle now for Doty. Doty bouncing for the big man Mulvey, still up top. Mulvey feeding for Folefak. Balls on the floor. Live ball turnover. Mount St. Mary's basketball. Down by 16, here comes the Mount. Keys, transition, three ball, in and out, foul, off the ball. Who's it gonna be on? I think it's gonna be on Mount St. Mary's. They got it on Arrington. That three was in and out from Keys. So Siena basketball, 40-24 leading. Arrington with a transition triple there. They inbound to Doty, back to Coyle, playing catch with Doty. He brings it up the left sideline. That was a first team foul on the Mount. First foul on Arrington. Doty up top for Mulvey. Back to Doty. Doty inside the arc, spinning. Doty in the lane. Hand off. It's going out of bounds. It was knocked away by the Mount. Keys wants to check and see if that ball was last touched. He wanted them out to challenge, but they're not going to. 10 on the shot clock. 17:52 to play. Siena with a 16-point lead in the ball. Baseline right. The inbound comes to Folafak. Folafak in the lane. Handoff Schultz underneath the basket. Schultz now turning mid-range pull up. Good. He found a lane to get a mid-range pull-up jumper. 42-24 Siena. Up top DeVoe. DeVoe now for Lipscomb in the corner. Lipscomb on the wing driving. Kicks it to McKeldin. Right side of the lane. Off glass, no. Follow lay-in. Good Trey DeVoe. Timeout, Mount St. Mary's. 17:24 to play. The Mount uses the timeout. They're going to have 2 left after that one. We'll take a timeout as well. Our score is Siena 42, Mount St. Mary's 26. The Mount's got to find a way to start getting stops again. We return to Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City right after this. Federal Credit Union is proud to support the education community on the court, on campus, and everywhere in between. For more than 70 years, Educational Systems FCU has helped educators, students, and their families reach their financial goals with lower loan rates, higher savings returns, and service that puts people first. Whether you're planning for what's next or celebrating today's victories, they're here to help you build a brighter financial future. Educational Systems Federal Credit Union, making financial wellness possible for the education community. Learn more at esfcu.org.
Grab one of many offerings from Fin City Brewing from their home in Ocean City all across the great state of Maryland. And while heading to the shore, visit their new tap room at 12911 Ocean Gateway, Unit 2 in West Ocean City. Fin City Brewing, born on the water of Ocean City.
There's still a lot of basketball left in this quarterfinal. 17:24 to play. Siena has led by as many as 19 points. They're on top by 16 right now, 42-26. It was, again, a very close affair for the majority of the first half. Siena led by 6 with about a minute and a half to play in the half, and then they went on an 8-0 run to close the half, lead it by 14. And they even came out and scored right out of the gate in the second half. Is it too much for the Mount to overcome? We will see. Mount St. Mary's is going to press here. 17:24 again left in the game. K-Bay is in for the Mount. 42-26, Siena leads it. Running the baseline, Coyle, he gets it into Schultz. Schultz over to Doty, no double team. Doty brings it up, guarded, now a double team. K-Bay, did he take it away? Doty able to keep the dribble on one knee. Over to Schultz. Now a lob for a post touch, Folafak under the hoop, and he lays it in. A reverse layup, 44-26 Siena. Here's Keys quickly down the floor. Keys inside the arc, finds McKeldin, kick out. Lipscomb pump fake on a 3. Now he takes the triple off the front of the iron. And Folafak the rebound. Siena an 18-point lead in the basketball as Schultz brings it up. Center circle going right. Schultz drives all the way in, blocked away. It sticks, the wedgie between the rim and the backboard. Is the second one we've seen today. Hadn't seen one all year. And the alternate arrow gives it to the Mount. McKeldin with a big block. 44-26 Siena. Mount St. Mary's needs a little bit of a run. Get some energy. Big Mount crowd behind us, and they're ready to cheer. DeVoe, right side, K-Bay. K-Bay, up top, DeVoe. DeVoe fakes a pass, now turning, he's in the foul line. Bouncing McKeldin, right block. McKeldin going into Mulvey, off, claps it in with the right hand. Big bucket, 44-28. But Mount St. Mary's has not been able to slow down the Saints in some time. K-Bay nearly took it away. Schultz gets it over to Folafak. Schultz wanted a foul. As now Folafak Driving it into DeVoe. Fall effect, facing him in the lane. Gets to the right hand and lays it in. And he's starting to take over. 46-28. Fall effect. Close the door on the Mount at Knott Arena with 15 second half points. Here's Keys driving. Keys fouled on the drive. He's going to shoot 2 at the line. So Mount St. Mary's starting to score the basketball, but they're not cutting in to this Siena lead. We're going to take a break. They're going to not rule that a shooting foul. Oh, now they do. 2 free throws for Arlandis Keys upcoming. We got 15:47 to play. Timeout on the floor. Our score, Siena 46, Mount St. Mary's 28. This is Mount St. Mary's basketball from the MAC tournament.
The steak and cheese sandwich is back at Roy Rogers. Savory or spicy, make it yours with your favorite fixins. Go big and upgrade to a large drink and holster fry for the full cowboy experience. Get it while you can. Steak and cheese is here for a limited time only. See you soon at Roy Rogers.
Anchored in a region that stretches across vibrant cities and historic landscapes, our institutions are driven by a commitment to academic and athletic excellence. Our student athletes are not only champions through competition and in the classroom, they are lending a helping hand to build a better tomorrow. Join us in shaping a brighter future in the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference.
Well, earlier today, the Mount St. Mary's women played in the quarterfinal, taking on Merrimack, and they fell 62-48 to end their season. Coach Antoine White's 5th as head coach here of the Mount. They really had a good year, battling to be the 6th seed. They went 7-4 down the stretch, did the Mount women, after their leading scorer, Gabby Kennerly, was injured on January 14th. And missed the rest of the year. And you kind of thought it was going to be even tough at that point. The Mount, I think, was 4-5 in the league, and it was going to be tough for them losing Kennerly to make it to this MAC tournament, or to get a bye, let alone in it, and make it to this Saturday. But they did so. 2 great wins at Knott Arena, leading into the tournament against Sacred Heart and Ryder. But it comes to an end today as Merrimack, too much of the Mount. The Mount was tied at the half. Merrimack took over against 62-48 the final. Arlandis Keys will be in the line shooting 2 here. We got, that was the 3rd foul on Fall effect. And that's big. And he is now out of the game. Fall effect, such a difference maker. Just kind of feel the Mount's going to make their run right now to get back in this game, down by 18 points, as Keys quickly at the line, connects on the first of 2 free throws. Arlandis has had a good game today. The senior, he's got now 10 points, the first Mountaineer into double figures, and he makes them both as it spins around the iron and falls home. The Mount's going to bring some full court pressure. They double team, the lob up to Doty. Doty back to Coyle, now Schultz. Schultz double team back court. Foul on Amati. Mount was close to trying to force that 10-second violation, but a bump on the outside by Amati. And Siena will now inbound, a fresh shot clock in the backcourt. 46-30, the Saints lead it. Here's Schultz. No double team here as he comes into the front court, guarded by Kebe. Now Coyle hit the big threes late in the first half. Doty up top. Doty, top of the key. Finding the big man, Mulvey, handing right back to Doty. Doty thought about a 3, didn't take it. Doty lobbing for Mulvey, only 8 to shoot. Mulvey, the 7-footer, puts it to the floor. Now on the low block with 5. Mulvey guarded by McKeldin. Too strong with a shot. The Mount gets a stop. Kebe brings it up the other way quickly. Kebe looking to drive it. Kebe guarded by the smaller Schultz. Kebe kick out McKeldin. McKeldin up top now for Lipska. Back to McKeldin. McKeldin gives it to Kebe. On the drive, spinning near the lane. Off glass, no. It's tipped up. The Mount gets the rebound. Keys now driving baseline. Keys hangs short on the shot. Amani gets the board. Amani kick out. Kebe big three across the iron, no. 3 shots, and the Mount cannot connect. 46-30 Siena. The Saints come the other way. Around the screen, Schultz. Schultz left of the lane. Now Mulvey at the foul line. Corner 3 ball. Coyle. Oh, back iron, no. Doty the rebound. Doty backs it up on the dribble. Big board for the Saints. They've got a 16-point lead in the basketball. Schultz around the screen left. Schultz now to the foul line. They got a switch. He bounces down low and throws it away. Keys has got the steal. He brings it up. Live ball turnover. Here's Kebe, and Kebe gets fouled as he ran right into Coyle. Fouls on the floor. It'll be Mount St. Mary's to inbound it here. 14:09 remains. Now from the sideline, it'll be Kebe to inbound for the Mount. Mount St. Mary's, can they get a little spurt here and get their fans going? Lipscomb between the rings, right wing Keys. Keys drives it towards the baseline. Keys back up top for Lipscomb, 15 to shoot. 6 minutes into the second half. McKeldin has it on the dribble. McKeldin now goes to work. Folafat guarding. McKeldin in the lane with a left hand short. McKeldin offensive rebound. Right-handed hook and good. McKeldin getting fired up. He's cut the Siena lead to 14 points. 46-32 Saints. Can the Mount build together some stops here? Doty for Schultz. Well outside right. Guarded by Kebe. The Mount fans asking for defense. Here's Doty near center court. Around the screen, Doty at the foul line, turning. Kick out Coyle. Schultz 8 to shoot. Schultz with 5, crossover. Guarded by Lipscomb. Schultz now up and under, layup, no good. And the rebound, McKeldin. Here comes Mount St. Mary's. Down by 14, the lob. McKeldin catches low block. Back to the bucket, guarded by Folafak. McKeldin spins, turns, and fouled. And he'll get to the line to shoot 2. Coyle, the foul. That's his 3rd. So Coyle and Folafak. Remember, Siena doesn't go very deep, and each of them have 3 fouls. Of the 35 points Siena scored in the first half, not one of them came from their bench. McKeldin bend to the knee. It's in the air. Off the front of the iron. No good. 46-32 Siena. Still 13:01 to play. McKeldin 1 of 3 at the line today. Takes a deep breath. Bend to the knee. And he hits the second. And the Mounts within 13. They're going to double team Schultz. Schultz gets it over to Doty. Now up to Folafak, into the front court, and the Mount look to take it away. They thought they had the steal. They ruled a foul on Mount St. Mary's on the reach-in. And they got Kebe on the foul. So all year, one of the storylines of the Mount has been their struggles with turnovers, but over the last few games, they've been forcing turnovers much more so. Can Mount St. Mary's use turnovers to their advantage down the stretch to build a big comeback in this quarterfinal? Here's Schultz outside left, 12 to shoot. Siena with the ball up 13. It's knocked away for a moment. Folafak back to Schultz, 6 to shoot. Down low, knocked away. Live ball turnover. Kebe out of the pack. Dunk! What a hammer dunk! Time out, Siena! And the Mount faithful are roaring their approval. It's an 11-point game. Here comes Mount St. Mary's. 46-35 our score. We're going to take a break as well. 12:30 to play. Siena 46. The Mount 35. Don't leave us. The Mount is not going away. This is the MAC quarterfinal from Atlantic City.
Every day, academically, physically, and spiritually, to strive for excellence by pushing ourselves beyond our limits. At our mountain campus, we know what it takes to be great, to pursue our passion for learning, to build lifelong bonds, to stand up for our beliefs, to enjoy a life of purpose. At Mount St. Mary's University, we create lives of significance.
Hey, Mount fans, looking for insurance you can trust? Meet Daisy Gardner from Lindquist Insurance. With expertise in personal, commercial, and life insurance, Daisy is dedicated to protecting what matters most to you. Call Daisy Gardner today and experience the friendly professional service you deserve. The number 240-297-0628. Mount fans, protect your future with Daisy. Alongside Ralph Grunt, our head statistician, my name is Adam Pohl. We are live from the MAC tournament. A magical run for the Mount. A year ago, 3 wins in 3 days. Marist, Merrimack, and then Iona. All as the lower seeded team. All as an underdog. And now the Mount as a 6 seed once again taking on Siena. A team, a power in this MAC conference. Siena, though, has not won the conference in 16 seasons. Their faithful think this may be the year that changes. Siena went out to a big lead. They've led by as many as 19, but the Mount now is within 11. 46-35 is our score. Mount St. Mary's on a run. A 7-0 Mount run over the last 3 minutes and 17 seconds. Siena scoreless in 3.5 minutes. The Mount starting to pressure the ball, using K-Bay and Keys as a weapon. Gonna be Coyle to inbound. He's gonna get it into Schultz. K-Bay guarding, no double team. Schultz will bring it up. Schultz across the timeline, outside right. 12:20 to play in the quarterfinal. Schultz bouncing, Folafak. Low post, outside the lane. Left side, guarded by McKeldin. Folafak turning to McKeldin, he's under the basket. Now, Folafak had it knocked away. Siena gets it back. Coyle up top, Henderson 8 to shoot. Henderson back to Coyle with 5. Coyle back to Henderson, 3 ball. Air ball! Out of bounds. Mount St. Mary's basketball. The Mount's defense is starting to dig in. Can they keep scoring? They've scored 7 in a row. It's not enough. They need a major run here. Lipscomb brings it up, down now by 11. It's McKeldin, top of the circle. Handing for K-Bay. Doty guarding. K-Bay now for Keys. Keys right wing 3. Off the iron, too strong, just grazed the iron. Siena with a rebound. Big opportunity there, and Keys could not get it to go down. Here's Schultz. Outside left, bouncing for Mulvey. Still, 3-point line. Back cut, Doty, whistle. They're going to get a foul on Lipscomb, who thought it was a charge. Foul should be on the floor. Are they going to give Doty free throws here? Wow, they're giving Doty free throws. He was not even close to being in the act of shooting. That is a stunner. Big break for Siena with their offense struggling right now. That is a gift. So Doty 84% of the line. And the free throw's good. Doty was catching the pass when the contact was made. He didn't even have the basketball. Second attempt. That's one heck of a shooting foul. It's in the air, and he's made both. 48-35, Siena. Can the Mount answer? Lipscomb brings it up. Here's K-Bay, outside left. Now Amadi, top of the key. Amadi, hands for Lipscomb. Lipscomb now left wing Keys. Doty comes out to guard, post touch, left of the lane. McKeldin goes to work. McKeldin spinning to the left side, double team comes. Hand off Amadi, missed a dunk. No foul. K-Bay took it away, and they ruled a foul on the Mount. Amati was contested at the iron. They did not rule a foul. And Kebe gets his second foul as he took it away from Doty. Doty got poked in the eyes. Siena basketball, 48-35 Siena, 15 foul. And now Donnie Lind is on the floor wiping up the wet spot. He did that in the title game a year ago. The Mount faithful love it. They're on their feet. Mount St. Mary's needs to stop. Boy, a few tough whistles that did not go the Mount's way when they had major momentum here. Now Siena, 13-point lead of the ball as we hit 11 minutes to play in this quarterfinal. Schultz on the outside. Now Coyle, left of the circle, up top, Doty. Well on the outside for Fallafak. Fallafak dribbling, backing at Amati. Double team comes. Here is Doty, left of the circle, driving on Lipscomb, and they ruled another foul. He sold it as he faded away from Lipscomb, and Doty's going to go right back to the line to shoot two. The 3 straight whistles, and Siena starting to distance themselves again from the foul line here. Doty's first in the air and good. And where the Mount has struggled all year from the line, they're 60% today. Siena has made every one of their free throws. A second attempt forthcoming for the sophomore. It's in the air, and it is good. 50-35 Siena. Lipscomb will bring it up for the Mount. 10:35 to play in the quarterfinal. Kebe between the rings. Now he finds Keys. Keys, they get a post touch left of the lane. On the low block, McKeldin. McKeldin to the lane. Had a knocked away steal. Line ball turnover. Schultz brings it up quickly. Inside the arc, he backs it up to the wing. Schultz up top now. Coyle back to Schultz. Screen left. Schultz goes around it. Schultz finding Doty on the wing. Now it's Mulvey. 15 to shoot. Cross-court feed. Coyle, 3 ball coming. No good off the heel of the iron. And Mount St. Mary's the other way off the rebound. Here's Kebe, front court right. Down by 15, 10 minutes to play. Kebe stopping in the lane, and he gets fouled. Had the ball knocked away on a pass attempt. Foul's going to be on the floor. Siena thought they had a steal. Schultz first foul. As now DeVoe will check into the game for the Mount. 50-35 Siena leads. 9:55 to play in the MAC quarterfinal. DeVoe, foul and extended, finds Lipscomb underneath, and he missed the layup, but he got fouled. Very late whistle. And Xavier Lipscomb will go to the line to shoot two. Now, Siena got some questionable calls and how the Mount is getting the return. Lipscomb at the line to shoot two. The left-hander. Bend to the knee, it's in the air, and it is good. Lipscomb's first point of this game. He's attempted 2 shots. And leading the way for the Mount, playing 27 minutes. A second free throw coming. 9:50 to play here in the quarterfinal. Bend to the knee, it's in the air, and it is good. And it's 50-37. As the inbound now, the Mount down by 13. Schultz brings it up, gets it to Doty, front court. The Mount looked like they were going to trap in the half court, did not. Ball's loose, the Mount gets a steal. Kebe against Schultz, Kebe spinning. And they whistle an offensive foul. What are they calling it for? A charge. Huge whistle. And Siena's got the ball. It looked like Schultz was fouling Kebe. That's a stunner. Maybe Kebe used the off arm. Schultz now outside right for Doty. They've got a 13-point lead. That's a huge turnaround on the call. Looked like the Mount was going to get a bucket. Doty pump fake at a 3, driving it into the lane. Hanging jumper, no. Offensive rebound, Mulvey. He'll back it up. Sends it back out to Doty, top of the key. Looking to drive it. Doty spinning in the lane, fading jump shot. Short, and the Mount the rebound. KB's got it for Mount St. Mary's. Down by 13, inside, 9 minutes to play. Lipscomb on the drive, spins in the lane. Lipscomb underneath, fouled, and he'll shoot 2 at the line. Whistles galore. And the Mount's got to be the more physical team down the stretch. And they got to take it right at the iron. They called that an offensive foul. I mean, that was an absolutely stunning foul. We just saw the replay, and KB did not even touch Schultz. So that is a 4th foul on fall effect. Huge whistle. Lipscomb free throw is good. Usually, I mean, there's a guy goes to the floor and there's a push off. There wasn't anything. It was a player dribbling, going up to lay the ball in the basket, and they just whistled him for an offensive foul. That's one of the more stunning whistles you'll ever see. 50-38, the Mount is still in it. Lipscomb back to the line. A second attempt. Sienna's a different team without Folafak on the floor. He has to come out. Xavier makes them both. It's an 11-point game. The inbound to Schultz. Does the Mount have enough to come all the way back? Schultz brings it up the floor. Front court. Center circle with the dribble. Guarded by Kebe. Around his screen. The Mount switches defensively. Mulvey up top. Mulvey bouncing for Doty. Doty 10 to shoot, crossover, guarded by DeVoe. Doty in the lane, hanging jumper, short again, rebound loose. Mulvey rebound Sienna, cross-court feed. Doty now, coil, 3-ball from the corner, off the iron. Amadi's got the rebound. He'll bring it up for the Mount, down by 11. Can the Mount make it a single-digit deficit? Lipscomb down low, it's DeVoe! And he slams it home. It's a 9-point game. Christian Jones brings it up, the freshman for Sienna. 50-41. Mount fans are on their feet. Here we go. 7:57 and counting to play in the quarterfinal. Schultz, they whistle a cheap foul on Lipscomb, his 3rd on a bump on the outside. And they're in the bonus. He's going to shoot 1 and 1. Right as the Mount gains momentum, there is a whistle well away from the basket. It has seemed that has helped out the Saints side. There, a big one. They got the bump, and it's going to be Schultz at the line, shooting 1 and 1 when we return. We've got 7:49 to play in the quarterfinal. Sienna 50, the Mount 41. This is Mount St. Mary's basketball. National Systems Federal Credit Union is proud to support the education community on the court, on campus, and everywhere in between. For more than 70 years, Educational Systems FCU has helped educators, students, and their families reach their financial goals with lower loan rates, higher savings returns, and service that puts people first. Whether you're planning for what's next or celebrating today's victories, they're here to help you build a brighter financial future. Educational Systems Federal Credit Union, making financial wellness possible for the education community. Learn more at esfcu.org.
Grab one of many offerings from Finn City Brewing from their home in Ocean City all across the great state of Maryland. And while heading to the shore, visit their new tap room at 12911 Ocean Gateway, Unit 2 in West Ocean City. Finn City Brewing, born on the water of Ocean City.
All right, here we go. Time is running short. Sienna will be at the line. Schultz shooting 1 and 1. 69% on the year from the line. It's Sienna 50, Mount St. Mary's 41. The Saints have led by as many as 19 in the second half. The Mount has trimmed that lead, but there's still a long, long way to go. It's been a very physical game, and foul trouble down the stretch is going to be big. Both teams are in the bonus, shooting the 1-on-1 currently. The Mount with 18 fouls. Siena's got 6. Siena's leading scoring big on the year, Francis Folafak, has got 4 fouls. Brendan Coyle, who has hit 4 first-half threes, has 3 fouls. For the Mount, Lipscomb and Kebe each have 3 fouls. Siena has nobody on the line here as Schultz shoots 1-1. They don't want to foul, and they want to get back defensively. As a big front end forthcoming for Schultz, the senior point guard for the Saints. Bend to the knee, it's in the air, and it's no good! Front iron, back iron, and out. Here comes the Mount, down by just 9. Lipscomb front court, guarded by Schultz. Right wing Kebe. Now Lipscomb. Lipscomb goes away from the screener. Lipscomb underneath. Lipscomb lays it up. No. Follow dunk. And Amadi missed it. He missed a second half dunk. And now Siena with the basketball. Amadi flew in. He had the flush and he missed it. 50-41 Siena. Left of the lane, Doty against Lipscomb. Doty backing his way in. Doty fading jumper, back iron no. Rebound, fought for Mulvey's got it. Kick out, 3-ball en route. Front iron doesn't go. The Mount gets another stop. They're down by 9. Here comes Keys jogging front court. Keys, screen right, he goes that way. Keys driving it all the way in. Lays it up, too short. Rebounds on the floor. Oh, Siena kicked the ball. Siena kicked the ball. They had the rebound. They ruled it a kick ball. And Mount St. Mary's has it. A fortunate break. 6:51 to play in the quarterfinal. And the Mount can ill afford to go cold for the field right now. They've got a 6-0 run in the last 2 minutes, 59 seconds. Lipscomb finding Keys in the corner. Keys around the screen, inside the arc, bouncing down low. It's loose on the floor. Trey DeVos got it, goes up. Wild shot, no. Siena runs down the rebound. Jones over to Doty. Doty lays it up, and he gets fouled. And K-May just committed his 4th foul. So many chances for the Mount, but they're just not finishing at the iron right now. 4th foul on K-May, who's been such a defensive difference maker. And now Doty will shoot 2. So the Mount, you hold Siena without a point for over 3 minutes, but they only scored 6 of their own. Free throw, and it's good. 51-41 Siena. The Mount needs one more major run down the stretch here. Siena does not have a made shot field goal in 9 minutes and 26 seconds. They have lived at the foul line. That's incredible. Second attempt, and he hits them both. Kebe staying in the game with 4 fouls here for Mount St. Mary's. 52-41 Siena. Lipscomb between the rings finds Amadi. Amadi up top, handing for Keys. They step out on him. No look for 3. McKeldin back to Keys. Keys driving, bouncing, kick ball. Kicked away by Mulvey. The shot clock back to 20. And Mount St. Mary's will inbound it here. Baseline right. 52-41 Siena leading 6:21 to play in this 4th and final quarterfinal. Lipscomb gets it into McKeldin. Now Amadi inside the arc. Amadi looking, trying to get it to Keys. He does so. Keys back out to Lipscomb. Lipscomb gets it back from McKeldin. 10 to shoot. Big 3-ball, Xavier Lipscomb. Good! And it's 52-44. As close as the Mount has been in the second half. Kebe guarding Schultz closely. Schultz trying to get a foul call. Back out to Jones. Kebe aggressive even with 4 fouls. The freshman Jones around the screen. Into the corner. Coyle drives it in. Swings an extra pass. Schultz on the take. Schultz handoff. And Mulvey scores. 54-44 Siena. 5:37 to play. And a whistle on the court. Haig is going to come into the game here for Arlandis Keys. Again, Haig, who had a huge MAC semifinal against Merrimack a year ago, can he come up with a big shot here? The Mount down by 10. Time running out. Still 5.5 minutes left. Lipscomb, outside right for McKeldin up top. They're guarding Haig. Haig running off the ball. McKeldin on the low block. Back to the bucket. Guarded by Mulvey. McKeldin turns left. Off pass. He puts it in. And it's 54-46. 5:12 and counting to play. Mount St. Mary's, a long way still to go, but they're in it. Doty front court left. Siena taking their time. On the wing, Doty around his screen. Doty near the foul line. Up top for Jones. Now in the corner, Coyle. Back to Jones, 10 to shoot. Here's Schultz. It's Jones now with 7. He's going to try to drive it on Haig. Schultz now, 3-ball contested. Well off. Did it hit the iron? They rule it did. And Siena got the rebound. 15 to shoot. Siena's going to hold it. It just clicked off the left side of the iron. Nearly an air ball. Big rebound for the Saints. Doty around his screen. 3-point shot. No good back iron. KB the rebound. Here comes the Mount down by 8. 4:27 to play. KB around the screen. Drives it up and under. Lays it up. No. Final dunk McKeldin. 54-48. The Mounts within 6. Their defense keeping them or pulling them back into the game. It's Doty. Back to Schultz. Center circle. 4:05 and counting to play in the quarterfinal. KB guarded. Schultz going left. Still on the outside. Here's Mulvey. Mulvey now for Doty. Doty going left. Doty didn't have a look. 6 to shoot. Schultz into the corner. Jones with 3. Jones step back jumper baseline. Hits the iron. The Mount runs it down. Mount St. Mary's basketball. Amati lost his shoe. Amati gets it back on. Runs it up. They're down by 6. 3:35 to play. Lipscomb for McKeldin. Lipscomb on the outside. Lipscomb. He's got Coyle on him. Lipscomb sizing him up. Now McKeldin back to Lipscomb. Lipscomb on the drive. Lipscomb under the basket to a cutting Amati. Foul! And Amati's going to go to the line to shoot 2. When we return, we've got 3:19 to play here in the quarterfinal. And it's 54-48 Siena. At the line shooting 2 will be Amati when we return. Mount St. Mary's is back in it. We return right after this. This is Mount Basketball.
The steak and cheese sandwich is back at Roy Rogers. Savory or spicy, make it yours with your favorite fixins. Go big and upgrade to a large drink and holster fry for the full cowboy experience. Get it while you can. Steak and cheese is here for a limited time only. See you soon at Roy Rogers.
Anchored in a region that stretches across vibrant cities and historic landscapes, our institutions are driven by a commitment to academic and athletic excellence. Our student athletes are not only champions through competition and in the classroom, they are lending a helping hand to build a better tomorrow. Join us in shaping a brighter future in the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference.
What a valiant comeback for Mount St. Mary's. Siena went on an enormous run. It was a 27-21 Siena lead. They finished with an 8-0 run to lead by 14 to the half. They propelled their lead to 19 in the second half, but the Mount has cut it to 6. We've got 3:19 to play in the MAC quarterfinal. 54-48 Siena. And Justin Amati will be at the line, shooting 2 when we come back here. A big part, I think, of this second half has been that Francis Folofak has had to spend a lot of time on the bench. The outstanding freshman big with 4 fouls. Folofak is checked back into the game now here for Siena. Siena 1 of 15 from the floor. One of their last 15. That's an incredible number. The Mount trying to wear down the Saints. Do they have enough to keep this momentous comeback alive? Amadi will go to the line to shoot 2 big ones. Justin Amadi, he's got 2 points today in his final collegiate run. He's a 58% free throw shooter. Bend to the knee, free throw is up, and it is good for Amadi. 54-49. One more forthcoming for the Mount. An incredible second half effort. It's in the air, and it's good. It's a 4-point game. The inbound is Schultz. Kame playing with 4 fouls guarding. Schultz will bring it up, no double team. Schultz handing for Folofak. They run a weave up top. Coyle for Mulvey. Mulvey, top of the circle. Mulvey, they're trying to post up Folofak. Mulvey, they get it to him left of the lane. Folofak double team comes in the lane, jump pass. Corner, Coyle 3, and he hits it. His first 3 of the second half. An enormous shot, 57-50. Kebe pump faking a 3. Driving baseline kick out for Lipscomb. 2:45 to play. 57-50 Siena. Now right wing, baseline drive Lipscomb, in the lane stopping, Lipscomb bouncing, it's McKeldin, he lost it, gets it back, scores with the right hand, 57-52, 2:29 and counting to play. Schultz will bring it up the floor, Siena with the ball in a 5-point lead. Schultz outside left, guarded by Kebe. Schultz, they run that weave up top, giving everybody a touch again. Doty now, Mulvey's got it, top of the circle. Mulvey handing for Doty. Doty going left. Doty spinning. Now near the foul line. Doty fading jumper. Short. Rebound tipped out of the Mount's got it. Down by 5. Here comes Mount St. Mary's. Inside 2 minutes to play. Can they make it a 1-possession game? Arlandis Keys around his screen. They come out. Folofak steps out. A switch. Kebe back to Keys. Keys on the outside. Kebe corner 3 ball. Good! Timeout! Mount St. Mary's, it's a 2-point game. 57-55. With 1:42 to play, Kebe hits his first 3 of the game. And from 19 down to now 2 down. Mount St. Mary's has committed 9 team fouls. Siena 7. So if the Mount commits a foul, no matter if it's shooting or not, Siena would shoot 2. The alternate arrow, if there's a jump ball tie-up, would give it to Siena. The Mount has 1 timeout remaining. Siena's got 2. Mount St. Mary's is 5 of their last 7 from the field. Siena 57, the Mount 55. 1:42 to play in the quarterfinal. What a game. Coyle's going to inbound. The Mount is going to guard the length of the floor. The inbound to Doty. 1:40 and counting in the quarterfinal. Doty will bring it up, guarded by Lipscomb. Can the Mount get a big stop and then have a chance to tie or take the lead? Schultz on the outside right, guarded by Kebe. Bounces, Folofak. Right side, double team comes. He's on the low block, spinning on McKeldin, double team. Folofak tied up. No, let's put jump ball. It'll be Siena basketball. 7 to shoot. Now they're going to inbound baseline right. 1:19 remains. Schultz will inbound for the Saints. Schultz looking, bouncing underneath. Folofak lost it! Out of bounds! Mount St. Mary's basketball. basketball. 1:18 to play. A chance to tie it or take the lead. Lipscomb's going to bring it up the floor. Gets it to Kebe. Right sideline. Front court, Amadi between the rings. Handing for Lipscomb. 1:08 to play in the game. Now Kebe left wing. Kebe around his screen. Kebe, kick out Lipscomb. Here is McKeldin near the three-point line. Handing for Keys. Keys driving. Keys to the foul line. Kick out Kebe. 8 to shoot. Keys is going to make it happen against a 7-footer. Drives it in, lays it up. No good. It's tipped out, and Siena the rebound. The layup to tie it did not go. 20-second difference, shot clock and game clock. Timeout, Siena. Keys tried to lay it in over size. Could not get it to go. Siena will have it. Leading by 2, 43.7 seconds remaining. And now each team has only one timeout left. Big stop for the Saints there. You just knew this Mount team was not going to go away in this quarterfinal here in Atlantic City. The Mount fans, everybody's on their feet here at Boardwalk Hall. 43.7 seconds remain. Again, a foul, a Mount foul here. There's no reason to foul. 20-second difference, shot clock and game clock, but it would be 2 free throws no matter what. But if the Mount gets a stop, I don't think you want to hold for the last shot in a 2-point game where you're trailing. You want to try to score as quickly as possible. And then you get an offensive rebound, put back. We'll have to see. Will the Mount get another crack at it? They got one crack at it, down by 2. Keys missed the contested layup, put it high off the glass. It bounded too far off, hitting the front side of the iron and kicking away. The 3-seed Siena Saints, 57. The 6-seed reigning champion, Mount St. Mary's Mountaineers, 55. Siena will inbound from in front of their bench. It'll be Coyle to trigger the offense. He gets it into Schultz. Here we go. Schultz, center circle, backs it up, guarded by Kebe. Schultz just dribbling, 13 seconds left. He bounces for Doty with 11 on the shot clock. Doty now guarded by Kebe. Doty in the lane, blocked away by Amadi. Out of bounds, Siena basketball. 5 seconds on the shot clock. 25.2 on the game clock. Coyle's going to inbound sideline right. Coyle looking, finds Schultz, driving baseline, reverse layup, good. 22.1 left, the Mount's down by 4. Here comes Lipscomb. Lipscomb driving. Lipscomb in the lane, bouncing. It's Amadi. Amadi, time running out. 13 seconds left. Keys with the basketball. Now 10, down by 4. Contested 3-ball. It's good! It's good! And the Mount's down by 1 with 7.9 seconds remaining. And the Mount calls timeout. It was a prayer, and it came down answered. The 4th 3-point make of the game for Arlandis Keys. He's got 14 points. McKeldin leading the way for them out with 18. 4 in double figures for Siena. Coyle hitting 5 threes at 17. 13 for Schultz and Doty. Falafax got 10. And remember, Siena will be shooting 2 if there's a foul. Can the Mount get a steal? They're going to bring Arrington back into the game, Mount St. Mary's. The Mount looking for some magic in Atlantic City. 59-58 Siena. It's March Madness for Mount St. Mary's. If you're just joining us, the Mount was down 40-21 in this game. They've come back. They're within 1 point with 8 seconds remaining. The clock, they checked it and they put a little bit more on it. So 8.0 is on the timer. Kebe with 4 fouls is coming out of the game here. Interesting, because he is your most likely player to steal the basketball. Doty's going to be inbounding for Siena. If the Mount can't steal it, they got to get a quick foul here. And Siena, a very able foul shooting team. Doty, baseline left. He can run that baseline. Doty, ready to throw it in. Gives it to Show. It's still out of bounds. Now for Doty, and the Mount commits a quick foul. 7.3 seconds left. Doty will shoot 2. And even if he makes both, it's a 1-possession game. 4th foul on Lipscomb. K-Bay is going to check back in for the Mount. If Doty makes 2, Siena could foul to not allow the Mount a 3 late to tie. Big first is in the air. Good. Nothing but net for the 84% free throw shooter. 60-58 Siena. Now DeVoe's going to check in as well for the Mount. Here for Amati. The Mount St. Mary's has got 4 3-point shooters on the floor. Would Siena give a foul, though? The Mount has got no timeouts remaining. If you get a miss here, you're just racing the ball up the floor and trying to score in the waning seconds. Doty, his 2nd foul shot forthcoming. He bounces, he puts it in the air. Good. 3-point Siena lead. 7.3 seconds left. Will the Saints foul? The inbound to Lipscomb. He's going to bring it up around his screen. Lipscomb lost the ball. It's on the floor. Siena's taking it away, and they call a foul on Mount St. Mary's. .8 seconds left. Lipscomb lost the ball, and Siena, as Lipscomb is fouled out of the game, the Saints look like they're going to survive in the quarterfinal. What an effort from the Mount. And the Fairfield coaches next to us are high-fiving. I think we know who they wanted to play. 0.8 seconds left. Doty, if he makes 1, it'll salt this thing away. But even if he misses both, the Mount would have to hit a 90-footer to tie it. Doty, it's in the air, and it is good. 62-58. They just had enough to hold off the Mount. And for Mount St. Mary's, this season is going to come to a close. 2nd is good. 62 or 63-58. The inbound half-court shot and root, no good, and it's over. Siena is on to the semifinal. And for Mount St. Mary's, the 25-26 campaign comes to an end in a dramatic finish. And many great careers for our Mount players. Xavier Lipscomb, Trey DeVoe, Justin Amati. Our Landis Keys have played their final collegiate game. Mount St. Mary's finishes this year 15-17 on the season. Siena hangs on narrowly. The Mount wore them down, but they were just a little bit too far behind to come all the way back. We're going to take a break. Our Mount postgame show is next. Our final score here from Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City. Siena 63, Mount St. Mary's 58. You're listening to Mount St. Mary's basketball.
We challenge ourselves every day, academically, physically, and spiritually, to strive for excellence by pushing ourselves beyond our limits. At our mountain campus, we know what it takes to be great, to pursue our passion for learning, to build lifelong bonds, to stand up for our beliefs, to enjoy a life of purpose. At Mount St. Mary's University, we create lives of significance.
Hey, Mount fans, looking for insurance you can trust? Meet Daisy Gardner from Lindquist Insurance. With expertise in personal, commercial, and life insurance, Daisy is dedicated to protecting what matters most to you. Call Daisy Gardner today and experience the friendly professional service you deserve. The number 240-297-0628. Mount fans, protect your future with Daisy.
The time has come. The steak and cheese sandwich is back at Roy Rogers. Savory or spicy, make it yours with your favorite fixins. Go big and upgrade to a large drink and holster fry for the full cowboy experience. Get it while you can. Steak and cheese is here for a limited time only. See you soon at Roy Rogers.
Anchored in a region that stretches across vibrant cities and historic landscapes, our institutions are driven by a commitment to academic and athletic excellence. Our student athletes are not only champions through competition and in the classroom, they are lending a helping hand to build a better tomorrow. Join us in shaping a brighter future in the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference.
Hell, not the final score we wanted tonight. Siena 63, Mount St. Mary's 58. And for Mount St. Mary's, the season comes to an end here in the quarterfinal here from Boardwalk Hall. It was such an unusual game. And Siena's big run, late in the first half, that put them from 6 points to 14 up in the break. And then even the first few minutes of the second half was really the pivotal run. They were leading 40-21, a 13-0 Siena run that blew the game wide open. And for Mount St. Mary's, and just an incredible rally that brought them to the precipice of a comeback. They had a possession down by 2 with the basketball. Arlandis Keys, who played well tonight, could not get a layup to go high off the glass. A lot of what-ifs for the Mount over the course of the game in totality. But when it's all said and done, just narrowly short for Mount St. Mary's today. And it's Siena moving on to the semifinal, where they're going to take on Fairfield tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. in the second of 2 MAC semifinal contests. Well, in this game, Mount St. Mary's, they shot 33% from the floor. They shot 41% of that second half, though. 30% from 3, 12 of 16 from the foul line, as Mount St. Mary's 75% for the game. For Siena, they shot 36%, 7 of 25 from 3, 28% clip. But really maybe the big number of the game, Siena 16 of 17 from the foul line. They needed them all, and they got them. They're an outstanding foul shooting team. Siena did not get 1 point in the game from a member of their bench. How about that? All 63 points coming from their starters. For Mount St. Mary's, sophomore big Luke McKeldin, 18 points, 9 rebounds, a redshirt junior, I should say. 14 for Arlandis Keys in his final collegiate game. The Mount got 8 points and 10 rebounds from Trey DeVoe for the senior. 7 for Xavier Lipscomb, just an outstanding Mount St. Mary's career. What a memorable player for the Mount. 7 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds today. K-Bay had an enormous impact in this game defensively. Only scores 5 points, 4 rebounds, hit a huge 3 late for the Mount. Justin Amati had 4 points and 6 rebounds. Amati's final collegiate game, playing 3 years at JMU, 1 at Tulsa, and then 1 here at the Mount. Anthony Arrington had 2 points, and it was Haig, So, and Diop that played but did not score. For Siena, Gavin Doty, 3 of 15 from the floor, but he made all 10 of his free throws, 17 points on the night. Brendan Coyle's three-point shooting was maybe the difference in the game because Coyle's threes late in the first half were instrumental for Siena. He ends up with 17. 10 for Falafak, who was in foul trouble. 13 for Schultz. 6 for Mulvey. Henderson and Jones played, but did not score. So again, our final score, Siena 63, Mount St. Mary's 58. We're going to put a bow here on this 25-26 season. Please don't leave us as we'll say goodbye right after this. The Mount finishing the year with a record of 15-17 and a loss here in the MAC quarterfinals. Siena 63, Mount St. Mary's 58. You're listening to Mount St. Mary's basketball.
We challenge ourselves every day, academically, physically, and spiritually, to strive for excellence by pushing ourselves beyond our limits. At our mountain campus, we know what it takes to be great, to pursue our passion for learning, to build lifelong bonds, to stand up for our beliefs, to enjoy a life of purpose. At Mount St. Mary's University, we create lives of significance.
Hey, Mount fans, looking for insurance you can trust? Meet Daisy Gardner from Lindquist Insurance. With expertise in personal, commercial, and life insurance, Daisy is dedicated to protecting what matters most to you. Call Daisy Gardner today and experience the friendly professional service you deserve. The number 240-297-0628. Mount fans, protect your future with Daisy. Welcome back one final time here for Mount St. Mary's basketball in this 25-26 season as the Mount falls in a dramatic quarterfinal to the 3-seed Siena. Our final score, Siena 63, Mount St. Mary's 58. You know, Mount St. Mary's basketball is something special. This is my 14th year calling these games, but it's my first year to be at the Mount day in and day out. The Mount is one of the two smallest schools in admission in the MAC, but this year it was second in overall attendance. There was not a building in the MAC that was more full more often than not arena. Mount fans, whether students, faculty, alumni, our community in Emmitsburg, Thurmont, northern Frederick County, all around Frederick County, Maryland, even into Adams County, Pennsylvania, Washington County, Maryland, Carroll County as well. It is passionate. It is something unique at this level of college basketball, something to behold. Jim Phelan built a Division II power. The Mount, of course, went to all those Final Fours, 5 under Coach Phelan. They won a national title, 7 now trips to the tournament at the Division I level. And for the Mount, here this season comes to an end here tonight. There are so many to thank here for everything done. Ralph Grunt, our head statist to my right, here throughout this season. But it was a special year as Mount St. Mary's had a lot of pressure on them, bouncing back, coming off of their title run in their third year of the MAC a year ago. And for Mount St. Mary's this year, an injured start to the year. They started slow 2-5 in conference play. They battled back to win 9 of their final 13 to earn a bye and the 6th seed. And then a dramatic quarterfinal tonight. It just felt like the Mount, whether it was from the bottom of the standings working their way up throughout this season, tonight was in a way a microcosm of that here. They could not get the win, but a valiant effort. And you know they're going to be back battling in front of the most passionate fans in the MAC again here next year. Now, it's been a foggy week. There's no doubt about it. It has been a brutally cold winter, and but the temperatures are soon to rise. And with that, obviously, summer is not that far. Spring and summer around the corner. Mount St. Mary's over the next few months will be working to amass their next rendition, the 26-27 season for Mount basketball. And as the summer hits, our Mountaineers will be working together starting in June to prepare. And then as the leaves turn into the fall and into the cooler months, once again, our winter passion again in northern Frederick County will come to fruition. And we cannot wait to bring it to you. It will be the 116th season of Mount St. Mary's basketball, and we are looking forward to it. It's a long ways away, but it'll be here before you know it. So that's going to do it for us here tonight. My name is Adam Pohl. We thank you for being with us all year long. We wish we had better news this evening. A valiant comeback comes up just short. The Siena Saints are on to the MAC semifinal. They'll take on Fairfield tomorrow night at 8:30. Again, our final score, Siena 63, Mount St. Mary's 58. For one final time this year, this has been Mount St. Mary's basketball here from Atlantic City. Have a great evening, everyone.
This broadcast of Mount St. Mary's basketball from the MAC Basketball Championships in Atlantic City was brought to you by Educational Systems Federal Credit Union, Finn City Brewery, Kadori Memorials, Roy Rogers, Lamundin, Pepsi, Lori Day's Grill, Lindquist Insurance, and Frederick Seibert and Associates. Thanks for listening to Mount St. Mary's basketball.